Good afternoon, David.
Again, good morning to you. Happy Halloween.
Yes, that's right. That's right. How's it going? Any festivities start yet? Is that your costume?
Yeah, I got my Orlando Magic Shaq jersey on for
Ooh,
Halloween.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that is that old school?
Yeah, old school. I taught my daughter.
Like you've
this
had that
morning,
since you were like 13 years old?
probably.
Yeah.
I taught my daughter this morning what hack a Shaq meant. She was not sure why he couldn't just hit foul shots.
Why what?
Well, the hack a Shaq was, they fouled Shaq because he couldn't hit free throws, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she just didn't understand why he couldn't hit free throws.
Oh,
Why couldn't he get
I
better
gotcha.
at that?
Gotcha.
All right. 7
Ready
games.
to dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in.
I got a couple things real quick I just wanted to point out. Doing the spread and total tracking, they're both hovering around, the low 50s. So nothing special to discuss. But I've also been tracking the refs who work these games. So based on what I'm seeing, I got 4 things I just want to point out tonight, and we'll see how they play out. All right. You got crew chief Josh Tiven. He's on the Sacramento. Who's the Sacramento Charlotte? Sacramento Charlotte. Yeah, he's on that game. Every game so far that he's ref this year, the favorite has won. So to see if Sacramento wins. He's also 4 of the 5 games he's done. The side that has the money for the spread bet has won, so that would be Sacramento minus 2.5. And also in all 5 games, the money side has covered on the total, so that would be over 231.5. And then same thing. It looks like Atlanta plus 4.5 based on Pat Frayer being the crew chief. Looks like the Clippers should win based on Zach Zarba being the crew chief. That game should go under 224. And one more, Brian Forte, also Atlanta. So Pat Frayer and Brian Forte are working the same crew, and they both have this trend of the
favorite.
the money side losing, which is also equates to the underdog. So Atlanta plus 4.5 seems to be a strong play based on those two working the game tonight. So we'll see. We'll recap tomorrow and see if any of this holds. But just wanted to point those out.
I'm interested to hear what the implications are of that. If you think that these games are being manipulated, or you just
I'm not saying any of that. I don't think they're being manipulated, but I think certain guys call things certain ways that lead to maybe more offense or less offense, or more fouls, less fouls. So it's just a way somebody calls the game that could perhaps have small, incremental effects. So we'll see.
I know that's definitely a big thing in NFL, right? The number of penalties that officiating crews call. Baseball as well, the size of the strike zone and such. So there's got to be some element of that in basketball, and you are going to uncover that.
I am. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
All right, so first game, Kings at Hornets. Kings are 1-4. Hornets are 3-3. Hornets are getting 3 points, as you said before, which is a little surprising. The home team is the underdog with a better record.
And just beat Golden State last night.
Yeah. Just beat Golden State. 231.5 points is the total. Rozier is a game time decision. Anybody popping for you here?
Yeah, there are. So the two guys we're going to want to target, the 2 positions we're going to want to target against Charlotte happen to be Sacramento's 2 strongest positions, point guard and forward. So that's or point guard and big forward, whatever you want to call it. So that's Fox and Sabonis, basically. So I'm going to go back to Fox over 25.5 points. He's cleared it in 4 of his last 5 and 7 of his last 10. And interesting fact, on road games with 1 day rest, he's 12 for 16, 75% hit rate on 25.5 points. So I like that play. And also from the Sacramento side, also like some Sabonis, 11.5 rebounds. He's cleared it in 6 of his last 7 road games. It's all the only backup stat I have for that, but it was a good matchup, and I like the rebounds for Sabonis. And I have 2 plays on the Hornets side.
Mm-hmm.
The wing matchup, Wings are doing really well against Sacramento, so that's Gordon Hayward, 19.5 points. The guy's 57% effective field goal percentage, 122 points per 100 shot attempts, 25% usage. He's especially if Rozier's out. I like this play a lot, and I'm gonna take one from you because the stats are so compelling. Mason Plumlee, 3.5 assists.
Oh, you're getting on board.
All 6 games to start the season, he's done it. He's in the 94th percentile amongst big men in assist percentage and 98th percentile in assist to usage ratio among big men. So I love that play tonight.
I also love that play. I'm going to run another one back. Keegan Murray.
I had him. Looked at him.
You could go threes. You can go points. I think they're both compelling. I personally like sticking with the threes. We played him the other night. He hit. Got 2 quick ones. I think when we were on air, and then proceeded to jack up another 5 until he finally hit the third. But he's attempting 6.2 3-points per game. And his line is only 2.5. His last 3 games, he put up 10, 8, and 7. I think he'll nail this again tonight. So
I like it.
All right.
One other one I just wanted to point out was Jalen McDaniels. He's a wing for the Hornets, so he's in a good matchup already, and his rebounding metrics are really good. He's like 90th plus percentile among wings. In rebounding metrics. So there's no lines out on him yet, which is why I didn't have anything, but there will be later, and I'm going to look at that.
All right. I like that too.
Yeah.
All right, next game, we got the 76ers at the Wizards. Sixers are 3-4. Wizards are 3-3. Wizards are also a home underdog, getting 4 points. 216.5 is the total. Who do you like? Embiid is a game time decision here. So,
all right, that was one of my plays.
I think he'll play, but yeah,
yeah, he's on those injury reports quite a bit.
He did sit out the other night. I don't know if it was a game or 2 ago, but yeah, let's assume he's in the game.
Okay, so we'll start with the Philly side then. The 2 positions that match up the best against Washington are bigs, so that's Embiid, and combo guards, so that's Tyrese Maxey. I like Maxey over 20.5 points. He's done it in 3 or 4 road games this season. He's done it in 3 or 4 games on a 1-day rest. He's got 25% usage, and he's in the 85th percentile in points per 100 shots. So he's getting the usage to get there. I like that in a good matchup tonight. Mm-hmm. And then also Embiid, 27.5 points. His last 3 versus Washington, he's had 36, 32, and 27, so just missed 1. But that one was in Philly. Surprised that the two games where he cleared by far were both in Washington, and the game tonight's in Washington. He's also cleared in his last 18 of 22 road games on a day rest. That's 82% hit rate. So I like that a lot. Putting up 126 points per 100 shot attempts on 33% usage, one of the highest in the league.
Very good. I like those players, but I'm on the other side of the coin. I see the Sixers are giving up the 5th lowest number of points allowed. The Wizards, the 7th lowest. That leads to a total of 216.5, which is the lowest on the board for the night. What does that all scream to you, Tom?
Unders.
Wrecks your soul. Monte Morris, I'm going under 9.5 points. I get plus money, plus 100. He's flirted with this in 2 games. Hit it in 1. So 7-9, 13-9, 5-3. So in his 6 games, he's only crossed this 9.5 once. Tight game. Monte's not doing it tonight.
All right. I would just like to point out the impact games that I've been tracking. They actually Philly and Washington. So Philly's allowed 17, impact quality games, and Washington's allowed 15. So it's pretty high. You compare that to teams like Milwaukee, who have only allowed 6, Sacramento 10, Clippers 11. So they're on the higher end. So I know the counting stat totals are not as high, but just for allowing, good games, both teams have been doing so more than others. So
all right, so
let's see. A counterpoint. So we'll see what happens.
I'm favoring the under 216.5. You'll go with the over based on that, huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely going on the over because I have 3 other plays from that game. I'm not going to go dig deep, but Beal over 20.5. There's a bunch of stats he's done in all 5 of. So just real quick, Washington's on no rest. It's a back-to-back for them. On no rest, he's done it in his last 5 games, 27, 30, 26, 34, 26. So he's there. And his 5.5 assists, he's done it in 8 of his last 10 games, and he's in the 98th percentile in assist percentage and assist to usage. So I like both those plays for Beal. And Kuzma over 16.5. Also, he's done it in 9 of his last 10 games at home, and 7 of his last 10 on no rest. So I like those 3 also.
Yeah, what you're failing to account for tonight, Tom, is I think a lot of these players are going to go trick-or-treating with their kids before the game, and that's just going to wipe them out, and they're going to be exhausted. And
that sugar, they're crashing from the sugar.
No, the walking 5,000 miles with your kids through your neighborhood. So
these are professional athletes.
Okay, fair enough. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. We got Pacers at the Nets for the next game. Pacers are 3-4. Nets are 1-5. Terrible. Nets are minus 8.5 on the game. This is the highest total for the night at 235, and they're running this game back from 2 nights ago.
Yep.
Let's just both agree. Halliburton.
Yeah. I just want to point out so this correlates with the over, the high point total. These are the 2 highest impact games allowed on the board. Indiana's allowed 21 and Brooklyn 19. So I pointed that out last game. A lot of scoring, little defense.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Right. Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, his line is starting to creep up. He's at 20.5 points. He put up 26 against the Nets the other night. He's hit this in 5 of 7 games. I still think it's a good play until the line starts catching up on him.
Yep. I like the 20.5 points. I also like the 9.5 assists. He's also done that in 5 of 7 this season.
Okay.
So I like that. Also from this game, Bigs against Brooklyn, one of the best matchups in the whole league right now. So Miles Turner to have 2 blocks in his first. He's only played 2 games so far this season. He had 4 and 5. He's covered the 2 blocks in his last 7 games when he's on 2 days rest, which he has today. And in 5 of those 7 games, he had 4+ blocks. His last 2 versus Brooklyn, he had 2 and 5. And this stat is crazy. He's blocking, it's only in 2 games, but he's blocking 8.3% of opposing shot attempts.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's nuts. So Miles Turner for 2 blocks.
I like that one.
Yeah. What was the other one I had? Jalen Smith over 8.5 rebounds. He's done it in 4 of his last 5. He's pulling down 26% of all of the Pacers' defensive boards. So I like that in a good matchup. And I think just given the 2 totals, I don't have a ton to back it up, but I like Kyrie to get over 28.5 points. I also like him for 2.5 threes. He's got some really nice numbers on the threes with like 1 day rest at home. And 1 day rest in total, he's shooting over 75%. Or he's covering over 75% from 3. So
yeah, Kyrie's line is 28.5. He put up 35 against Indiana a couple nights ago.
I like the Durant also 30.5, which I like when they played on Saturday night. I like both those plays too. So.
I kind of like Halliburton, Kyrie, and Durant all over 30 tonight.
That's nice.
Throw that together.
Put the Turner blocks in there too.
Turner blocks. And
all right.
Plus 1 million. All right. With respect to the Nets, I propose that if the Nets lose to the Pacers again tonight, we break down the team and we ship over Kyrie and Durant to the Lakers, and just
Kyrie and Durant.
Yeah. Get them out, get them over to the Lakers, and let's see if we can, take these two bad teams and make them into one good one.
Interesting. Okay. All right. And just one of them folds for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Although the Lakers were celebrating last night like they won the championship, so that was really fun to watch.
Or the other team just mails in the rest and hopes for that number one Victor Wembanyama pick.
He looks good.
Yeah.
All right, next game we got the Hawks at the Raptors. Hawks are 4-2, off to a good start. Played a tough game against the Bucks the other day. Trae Young was kind of out of his mind again, playing great. Raptors are 3-3. Raptors are -3, and the total is 222. Anybody standing out for you here?
Yeah, I'll tell you first. The one guy who's not standing out is I don't think a single point guard has shown up on my impact game sheet going up against Toronto with Fred VanVleet's defense on him. Mm-hmm. So that leads me to fade Trae tonight. The two positions that have been doing well against the Raptors are combo guards, DeJounte Murray, and forwards, John Collins. So I like 2 plays on Murray, 6.5 rebounds. Mentioned it the other day. He's in the 100th percentile among guards in rebounding. And on one day rest, he's done it in his last 34 of 44 games. So super high rate there. I also like his assists, 7.5 assists. He's also done it in 31 of 44 games on one day rest. And in 2 games against Toronto last year, he had 9 and 12. So that's Murray. And then Collins, we'll go back to the well on this one, 7.5 rebounds. He's in the 100th percentile among forwards in defensive rebounding. And he's done it in 5 of 6 games to start the season. Those are my plays from the Atlanta side. Okay. Were you on Collins rebounds again or no?
No, I looked at it, and surprisingly, the Hawks are not a great rebounding team. Which surprised me a little bit with
Capella.
I'm sorry, the Raptors against the Raptors. Yeah, the Raptors were kind of middle of the pack, so it wasn't as compelling as some of the other games.
I hear you,
but it's probably still worth playing.
Yeah. I have 2 from the Toronto side. Siakam, 24.5 points. He's cleared it in 5 of his last 8 home games on 2 days rest. And versus Atlanta at home last year, he had 31 and 33. Okay. So I like that. He's his shooting metrics are really nice to start the season. I like that play. And then really quick, just a kind of a sneaky play, Precious Achiuwa. I've been targeting him because he's got some great rebounding numbers, but a lot of times his lines aren't out when we record. But today they are 5.5 rebounds. He's in the 95th percentile in rebounding in the league, so that's a nice low number. I think he gets there easily.
Yeah, I actually highlighted 2 rebounding props on the Toronto side because I noticed that the Hawks rebounding is not great. Mm-hmm. Achiuwa was one of them. 5.5 rebounds, plus 110, so good.
Ooh, nice.
I was comparing that with OG at 5.5 rebounds at -130. So they've both done it in 4 out of 6 games. Obviously, OG is going to get an extra 10 to 12 minutes of playing time. So I was curious what your which of those 2 you liked better.
I like Precious just because he was real. He's right at the top of the list in terms of rebounding. But OG was it's also a good matchup for OG. I mean, I did have him. I didn't pull a prop out to make a play on, but he is on my preliminary list of guys to target from this game.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with the Chua. That was my initial gut, but then I got a little bit scared by his minutes. He's only in the game for 20-something minutes.
He had 22 rebounds the other night.
Right. He definitely has more upside than OG, but he also has more downside. So he's the riskier of the two plays. That's why his odds are better.
Yeah.
One other play. This one is going to reverse everything I've been saying. FVV under 1.5 steals tonight. So he is obviously a stealing machine. Let's read his lines. First game 4, then 3. So he's off to a hot start. But his last 3 games 1, 2, and 1. So he's cooled off a little on the steals. But more important, it's good to look at the opponent. Atlanta has the lowest number of turnovers out of any team in the league at 11.7 turnovers per game. Contrast that to the Clippers, who are the worst in the league, who we're going to talk about in a few minutes, at 17.5. And, obviously small sample size, so I look at last year as well. Atlanta was one of the lowest teams, actually the lowest team last year, at 12.1. So they're good at handling the ball. Trey doesn't really turn it over too much.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I see he only turns the ball over on 6% of Atlanta possessions.
Yep.
So that's incredible for a guy with such high usage too. Wow.
So take advantage of that, and the fact that FVV's line is 1.5, so you get plus money. Even if he gets one steal, you still win, right? So
I love this play, David.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. I really do.
All right, let's dive into the next game. We got the Pistons at the Bucks. Pistons are 2-5. They're looking a little bit better of late. Bucks are 5-0. Bucks are minus 13, so a huge line, and the total is 224.5. Let me start actually.
Yeah.
So, I like to ride the Bucks first quarter, right? That's my
Yep.
So let me just tell you, first quarter differential in terms of points scored. So far this year, the Bucks are the best team at plus 6.6. Minnesota's second best at 5.9. New Orleans is third best at 5.8, and Boston is the fourth best at 5.8. So all of those teams have 4 wins or more so far this season. So getting off to a hot start in the game certainly puts you in a good position to win. Detroit is one of the worst teams in the league at minus 4.6 differential. The first quarter line is minus 4.5 at minus 105 for the Bucks. So it's a big spread for one quarter. But if
in the previous games when you've been betting this, it's been like 1.5, right?
Yeah, 1.5. But they've been playing opponents like the Hawks and the Nets, where the spread was the total spread for the game was like 5. The spread for this game is 13, so it's going to go up, right? So I would still roll the dice at minus 4.5. But if you can find it at minus 3.5 or minus 4, I'd like that even more. So that's my play for the game. I'm going to keep riding that until it.
All right.
Until
you lose. That's it.
Exactly. All right. Go ahead.
I like it. I like. So I pointed out earlier, Milwaukee has only allowed 6 impact games so far this season, by far the least. So the only position that's really had any success is combo guards. So that's that's Jaden Ivey, who I don't love. It's 12.5 points. He's done it in 3 of 5. I think, even though he's not on my list here, classified as a combo guard, he maybe could be. Cade Cunningham, 21.5 points. Guy's been playing well. He's done it in 4 of his last 5. So I like that. From somebody's got to score. I guess it could be Bojan, but I don't know. I'm feeling Cade in this game against Milwaukee. That's all I got from the Detroit side. I do have 2 plays from the Milwaukee side. Sorry, 3 plays from the Milwaukee side. Giannis to get a steal. He's done it in his last 3 games against Detroit on 1 day rest. He's done it in 34 of 48. That's 71%. And on 1 day rest at home, he's done it in 16 of 21. That's 76%. So he comes out when he's nice and rested. When he's at home, he comes out and he plays some D, gets some steals. So I like that. And then 2 on Drew Holiday. So he had a slow start to the season. His last game, he had a great game. So I like him, 20.5 points. The stat that kind of backs this up is he's cleared that in 7 of his last 11 games at home on a day rest. And in 2 games versus Detroit at home last year, he had 29 and 22. So
yeah,
I like those 2. And I like him for the assists too. 7.5 assists. He's done it in his last 7 of 9 games at home on rest. And his assist metrics are also are quite good. He prioritizes playmaking, and I like those.
Who's going to be guarding him?
Who will be guarding Holiday?
Because I asked because I think a lot of his success in the prior game was a function of the fact that they had Trae Young on him for a good portion of the game. Every play that I saw him score, Trae Young was guarding him. I don't know if that was the intended matchup or just switches, but he was just abusing him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's either. I think he's either going to have Cade or Ivy on him.
Yeah.
So both young players that he should be able to work as well. No,
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like the Holiday play. I'd caution the Giannis steal a little bit, just for 2 reasons. One is Detroit has the 10th lowest turnovers in the league, surprisingly, at 13.7. And even last year, they were fairly middle of the pack at 14.2. And they and I could also see this game being a blowout.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, Giannis will come off the floor probably for most of the fourth quarter. So. It makes sense on paper, but I just caution a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and then we got the Grizzlies at the Jazz. Jazz are +2. Grizzlies are 4-2. Jazz are 5-2. Continue to surprise. High total 229.5. Bane and Morant were both listed as game time decisions. Hopefully they play, but not sure.
Yeah. This and the Pacers, Nets, and this game are the 2 highest impact game totals on the board. I couldn't even lock in on a position to target against Utah because literally every position, even though Utah's winning, but people are like having a field day against them, putting up tons of points and good games. So. But I don't think because of that uncertainty, I don't think there's any lines on Memphis out yet. At least I didn't see.
No, there aren't. I just checked. You can get all the Utah guys, but there's nobody out for the Grizzlies yet.
Yeah,
because,
so
40% of their offense is questionable right now.
Yeah. So I got from the Utah side, it's against Memphis. You're going to want to target wings and forwards. So. That's Markkanen, Clarkson, Sexton. Sexton, but I couldn't find anything that I wanted to lock in for this game.
Yeah, I would hold off and wait until they release the lines on the Grizzlies, and then pounce on some points and 3-point made totals.
Yeah,
right. It just seems like this is a game that Bane could just completely go off. So.
You think Ja plays?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what's wrong with him, so it's hard for me to say. But if it was just rest, I don't see why he wouldn't be back.
Yeah, he should do pretty well.
Yeah.
All right.
And then our final game is the lowly Rockets at 1-6, going up against the lowly Clippers at 2-4. This is your Zarba game. The Clippers are -9.5, and the total is 223.5. I'll start on this one if you don't mind. The Clippers, as I mentioned before, are 17.5 turnovers per game. So they're just atrocious in handling the ball. That's the worst in the league. I like Jalen Green for 1 steal. It's a little pricey at -155. He's done it in 6 out of 7 games. He's going to get some good run tonight. I don't see how he doesn't get a steal against the Clippers if they keep turning the ball over like they do.
I like that a lot. I was looking for a play on Green, and I couldn't find something, but I think I just found it with that one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I think you naturally think about 3 points with this guy, right? Because he's a monster scorer, but he's also pretty good on defense apparently. At least stealing.
Yeah, I like that. I don't have much on this game. On the positions to target against Houston are wings and point guards. So that's on the Houston side. That's Porter Jr. and Green. So those are the guys, with the most upside, obviously. And then against the Rockets, it's big men, combo guards, and wings. So I got one play only. Marcus Morris, over 14.5 points. He's cleared it in his last 5 of 6 games on a back-to-back, including his last 3 at home.
Nice.
He is second, only to Pascal Siakam amongst big men at creating his own shot. He's being assisted on less than 40% of his makes. So he is creating his own shots and scoring, and he's had some success historically in this situation. So Marcus Morris over 14.5 points.
I like that. Kawhi is still out, so he's going to be playing higher minutes still. And this is going to be – I'm surprised the total is only 223.5. I could see this one getting run up. The Rockets, I think, played last night against the Suns. So I think defense is going to be pretty poor in this game across the board.
Yeah.
And what was your – remind me, what was your play on Zarba for the Clippers? -9.5?
So Zarba, the Clippers in it's either all 4 or 4 of the 5 games that Zarba's been the crew chief for. The favorite has won. So the Clippers, and also the side of the total that has the money, which is under 224 in this case. It has 65% of the money right now. That can always change before game. That can change. But he's also that four of his games so far this season have all gone under in that situation.
Right. So that would lend more towards a low scoring game. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
So,
all right. So that's the 7 games for tonight. That's a nice healthy slate. It's going to be competing with Monday Night Football and trick or treating
and candy eating.
I'll end by asking you a question that a lot of people are asking. What's your favorite candy, Tom?
I got so many.
Just one. Just one. If you had only
just one. If I had to pick one, I think I'd go Sour Patch Kids.
Those are solid.
What about you?
Kit Kats all the way. Love them. Love them.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what I did have? I was dipping into the stuff we have for the trick or treaters last night, just kind of sampling things a little bit.
Just make sure it was safe for them, right?
Yeah, I hadn't had $100,000 in quite a while. That was pretty good. I was into that.
Those are solid.
Those are good.
Not that common. So
yeah.
All right.
Well, you enjoy the Halloween festivities, my friend.
Likewise, and enjoy the games.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.